being the second year that we're doing the Newport Rally, the demand is tremendous. Last year was our first event as Supercar Road Trips. It was our event number 1, and we started off with 18 cars. This year, we've tried to limit it to 35 cars. Originally it was a 25 quota, and we let an extra 10 in. And here there must be about 100 and maybe 200 cars here within the inside of Fort Adams. Most of them are antiques that have been shipped in enclosed trailers throughout the country just to be here for the special event. And we've been very fortunate to represent the modern technology with the modern Ferraris, Lamborghinis, Maseratis. We have some Porsches, some SLRs, and so forth. So we are presenting a contrast between the old racing heritage and the new modern technology in a mass-produced vehicle, if you could call it, compared to what they were back in the day.
I think the last time cars were allowed in here was back in the 1920s. It's just, a perfect setup. Great marriage of a few different groups.
How long do you think an event like this will continue for in the future?
I think they're 5 years young as far as the Newport Concours, and I know the other ones around the world, at Pebble Beach and in Greenwich, Connecticut, have been along a lot longer than that. So this could, be the start of something you see to evolve over the next, 20, 25 years. And it could, being this type of venue with the ocean right there, don't be surprised if you start seeing some old vintage Chris Craft boats and Hinckley's and whatnot, and expand from just a car event to boats as well, which would be cool, in the making.
I mean, there's so many beautiful cars here today, with Maserati, with Ferrari. There's a whole bunch of other beautiful cars here. But the vintage cars are starting to get very special to me. I don't know the vintage market that well, but I'm learning more about it, and I want to be more a part of it. And I actually might be buying our first vintage car for the dealership that we might be selling. So we're trying to get more into that, maybe more with the restoration, and we want to sell vintage cars as well as the modern cars today. So we love it.
This is a 2005 Ford GT. Ford did this as a testament to their 100th anniversary, so they made cars in 2005 and 2006. They made 4,100 cars total. The last 100 cars went to Canada.
Are there many of those style GTs made?
Like I said, 4,000 total. There's probably maybe about 3,200 still on the road. A fair number of cars have been wrecked, salvaged, etc., etc. The car can be a little bit of a handful, though it's actually pretty good even as a daily driver if you respect it. And people have bought them not just to drive them, but actually to collect them. It's one of the few cars that actually, even after 5 years of ownership, this car is probably worth more than I paid for it 5 years ago. And there's not many new cars on the market who can actually say that in 5 years that they appreciate and value. As you know, most cars will tank after 5 years or 1 year. It'll take another 10 or 15 for it to go back up. This car is actually appreciating now because Ford never made any other models. They made it 2005, 2006, GT40 or GT40 alike, and that's basically it.
How fast does something like this go?
Usually over 200. I've had it up to 187. Got nitrous methanol injection, custom 3-piece wheels, some carbon fiber pieces. It's loud and fast.
This time around, I brought up one of our cars. It's a 2001 Porsche 996 TT. It is Tiptronic, so it's got a little bit of advantage and disadvantage in some enthusiast eyes. The benefit with this car is we actually built this car for the Great American Run about 3 years ago. So money wasn't really an issue. We just wanted to build a reliable, extremely fast car. As you see, we've got a full Tech Art body kit, to keep the car down low. With this, we've got Brembo monoblock 6-piston caliper or brakes and calipers up front. In the front, we are running a little secret. We're running 2 cryogen gas-charged sprayers across the intercoolers to actually basically freeze them to give you an extra 10 to 15 horsepower. Yellow lights, they're just there for show. We are pushing just under 900 brake horsepower, just under 800 foot-pounds of torque with this car. It is all-wheel drive. You will spin all 4 tires and first and second gear with no issues. At Performance Outfitters, we do like to take clients' cars and bring them to the next level.
This is a 1961 Mercedes-Benz 300 SL Roadster. It is mostly original. It's a driver, so it can be driven. It doesn't have to be left on a trailer or in a garage all the time. So it's in pretty decent shape, and it's really a classic as far as the design and the technology that came out back then in the 50s. Everything is basically vacuum run. There's a lot of mechanical technology also, electronic fuel injection, which was quite new back in its time. And I fortunately, through the distribution of publications and through my contact with the Gullwing International Group, I was able to write an article about the experience of being a parade car for a Miss USA contestant. And I happened to have that article published, and that article was put onto the cover of a recent issue. I have that cover with me today, and I'm going to present that cover to the man who made this all possible, and that's Manolis, of course. On the cover of this issue is the 300 SL and Miss New Hampshire, and I hope this is something that you can keep as a tribute of all the work that you've done and the great experiences that you've brought to a lot of people. So enjoy it, and let's hope that next year I can have even more fun experiences thanks to you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. Great. Thank you.
It's great to be here with all these enthusiasts, and we're having a great time. We were at Fort Adams, which I understand has not been open since the 1920s to the public, but only a guy like Manolis and his connections here in Newport, like Steve Ramponi, can make this stuff happen. So I'm very fortunate to be here. It's great to meet all these wonderful people, and everybody has a common passion, which is supercars.